Okay. Happy New Year, everyone. And I'm really excited for our first team call. As you know, we do every Monday night, we have a call, but the first one of the month, we have a special guest speaker. We kind of go over some recognition. So I'm going to go ahead and just start that. Maybe we'll see. There we go. Can everybody, Brittany, Albers, I see you. Can you see that okay? Okay. So once again, I said, if Emily is not on, it is because she is in the middle of nowhere. She's trying to get on, but she doesn't have a lot of service. So we're going to just kind of roll on and hopefully she can catch in a little bit. So
I'm here, girl.
you're here. Yay. Em's here. Okay. So first of all, I wanted to just kind of share, look at all of these people who have earned the North Face jacket last month. Look at that. It's incredible. We've got so many people, a few people that have earned two. So I'm not going to read them off because you can read, but I'm just really proud of all of you who did earn that. It's a big deal. And then, okay, so these are our top enrollers. Angela Robbins coming in with 7 ads, a lot with 6, 5, and 4. And so just really proud of all of you for your work in December. December typically can be a slower month. So I'm really proud of all of us for continuing just to stay consistent in that. And then we've got some rank ups too that happened in December. So we've got lots of new silvers, 2 new golds. Gold is an incredible, it's so hard to get to gold. And so really proud of you, Brittany and Dana. That's such an incredible job. And I've heard so many times that if you can get to gold, you can get to diamond. So you just got to learn to duplicate now. And so just really proud of y'all for that. Some other things. And I wanted to share this because this is a really big deal. And I know I've had a few people ask me like, hey, what trip did Hannah earn to Mexico? What is that? And so when you go Emerald and you hit your jewel rank, you automatically qualify for the Emerald Extravaganza trip your first year. But every other year following that, you have to re-rank at least 5 months out of the 12 in order to earn this trip. And qualifications start in August. And so what this means is that all of your jewels have re-ranked their rank since August. And so this is the quickest that you can earn it: August, September, October, November, December, and all 5 of your jewels did earn that. And so I wanted to highlight that because it is not common. It is not common to be able to earn. This is actually so many consecutive trips in a row. And so that's a really big deal. Okay, and some corporate incentives. I know that most all of us are already aware of what's going on with the boots. If you sign 3 new VIPs, you get a $150 gift card to Boot Barn to get you Nashville ready. Any order over $199, this is both subscriptions and one-time orders, will get a free hand mixer. So that's really neat. Make sure you're signed up for Super Saturday. You will get 3 free membership codes. And I believe I heard that they also include a 10% off with it. And so it'll be 10% off plus the free membership code. And then we do have free shipping on all orders over $175. And then the reset combos are also on sale like they were at the end of last month. So that is what's going on with corporate. I think greens is the product of the season for extra perks credits. So make sure that you are aware of all of those things. And then here is our January calendar. So tonight we have our team call with Brandie. I'm really excited for you guys to hear from her. I have known Brandie since early in my business. We met at an airport on the way to convention. And so she was an Emerald, I believe, at the time, and she just went Sapphire this past year. And so I'm excited for you to hear from her. So we have that. We have our Golden Above call this Thursday. So if you had 100 points last month, you can hop on to the Golden Above call. We start our accountability group. I'm not going to go over all of that right now, but come next week at 8 p.m. and we were going to go over all of that and what that means. And then book study also starts next week. We have a post in Rising Jewels that kind of talks about which books we're going to be doing. So look for that. typically we have 2 events, right? So we have an event on the second Thursday of the month where we can invite potentials to, and it's usually more business focused. And then we have a second event that's the end of the month. So this one, we're still doing that, but the one on the 12th is actually going to be like a training. So it's not necessarily for potentials. It is for people who are wanting to do the business, and it is for someone who's been in the business 5 years today, by the way, 5 years today, or someone that is just newbie, just now getting started. So that is going to be on the 12th. And then we have Super Saturday on the 14th. The stories event on the 26th, it is going to be a Zoom, but something a little bit different. We're going to try and do like a sample edition. So our goal is to be able to send samples to people. We're going to hop on that call. Someone is going to talk about the different products, the different samples that we have, and kind of explain what those products specifically are. And then we're going to have people sharing their story of using those products. So very heavy samples. So make sure you're doing that. And then on the 31st, I really want to encourage you, if you have a local team, or maybe you have a sideline sister that lives 20 minutes away, get together on the 31st. It's a Tuesday night, and work together to finish out the new year. That's going to be just kind of enjoying being together, working together, and having fun. Okay. I haven't been
looking. Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I say one thing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I want to do something here to encourage you guys to do this January 31st get together. And we did this a few years ago, but I am going to, if you have like 3 or more people coming together in your location, I'm going to send you money so you can go and buy pizza as a way to, like, you know, food connects people. And I think that that's a really fun way for me to be able to like contribute, and us to all feel like we're on the same, like doing something together, even though we're across, you know, the country from one another. So get a group of at least 3 together in your location and let me know. And I will Venmo you some money so you can go get a pizza or 2.
Thank you, Em. That's so sweet. And you love us so well, even if we live really, really far away from each other. I never feel far away because you are just so kind. So thank you for that. All right. I'm going to introduce Brandie to you. I think I saw her on. So like I said, Brandie and I met at an airport back in 2019. And I've just really loved following her on Facebook. We've just connected, kind of just seeing each other on Facebook. And so I'm really excited to hear from her tonight. She's going to share a little bit about her journey with the business, and also just like inspire you to have a vision for where you're going with this. And as you know, that's our focus this month, is where are you, what is your vision? What is your vision, and building belief in that. And so Brandie, if you're on and available, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'll let you just take it away.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yay.
Okay. Okay. We got a new laptop, so I'm like still figuring things out. So thanks so much for having me. That was so fun to see your recognitions. Congratulations to all of you for getting your NORTHFACE and ranking up on what is notoriously one of the toughest months of the year, and even sponsoring people. So gosh, congrats, you guys. That is fantastic. I'm just so honored to be invited to be here with you guys. It's so fun to see brand new faces. I just did our monthly kickoff Zoom before we hopped on here, and it's kind of bizarre. I'm like on this Zoom and I don't recognize anyone but Kara, and I know Emily's face. So anyway, thanks for just letting me be here. One thing I want to say about Kara and I meeting in the airport is Plexus is funny that way. I mean, literally bumped into one another. I think some of us Plexus girls were taking a picture, and she came over. We were all waiting on the same flight. She came over. She's like, "Oh, with Plexus, I'm with Plexus. I think you had just signed up too, like brand new, a few months or something." And we hit it off there. And then when we got to whichever event we were headed to, maybe a leaders retreat, we just kept seeing each other. Like, "Oh, there you are, And it's still like that. Every event we attend, we see each other and we don't even have to like plan it. We passed each other in Hawaii hiking a trail, and she had her little baby on her chest. And I'm like going up and she's going down. I'm like, hey, Fred. I mean, it's just like that. You just make those connections and those people just keep crossing your path, which is super cool. And then you get invited to come speak on their Zooms. So that's so fun. So thank you for having me again. I will tell you a little bit about myself. I will try not to go too long, but I feel like my story is lengthy. There's so many ins and outs. But a little bit about me. I am in Oklahoma. I am married. We live on some land. I have animals. I have a pet pig. I have goats and chickens, and that is just like my most favorite thing ever. I am living the dream. We live on 5.5 acres in a tiny home. That is not my dream, and hopefully we're building soon, thanks to Plexus. So we have lived out here like this for almost 4 years, and our goal is to build our forever home here on our property. And this wouldn't have happened if I had not become a Jewel with Plexus. Prior to that, I was a registered nurse full-time. I specialized in oncology for 11 years. Absolutely loved my job. I was not looking for a career change. I was not looking to leave it. This was all very accidental and unexpected. So when I started Plexus, it was, I think, the typical story we hear, like I only started for weight loss. I didn't truly know that it did anything more than that. I saw a friend posting about having energy and losing weight, and I desperately needed both of those things. And I ate pretty well, I exercised, but I was just stuck and I wasn't seeing any progress. And I was frustrated, like, why am I even doing this? It doesn't matter. I should just drink pop and eat candy bars and just give up. But I was tired all the time, and I didn't even have babies. Like my kids were teenagers. We were on our way to being empty nesters. But she was bragging about all that, and at first I thought, whatever she's doing, she looks really good. Whatever she's doing, I bet it's not good for her. I mean, I'm a nurse and I take care of people with cancer, and I bet whatever she's doing is not good for her. But thankfully, I looked at the ingredients. I was curious enough that I looked and I thought, well, okay, this is not going to hurt me. This is all pretty good stuff. Like, this is awesome. So I think I'm just going to try it. I thought I would just try it for a little while and be done with it, like all the other things that we do, right? And I did lose weight. I did find my energy, like bouncing out of bed. My husband started doing Plexus because he confessed that I was annoyingly so energetic in the mornings. I thought, in the world, I didn't expect this. I stopped having crazy blood sugar crashes, like all the things. And that was just on Slim and what we used to have Accelerator. And as I got put into team pages and groups and all these things and started, seeing more and more, kept seeing all this about gut health, gut health, gut health. Well, they don't teach gut health in nursing school, at least not back in the day when I went. I wish they would, and hopefully they do now or they will soon. But it was a major problem for me. Like I had battled chronic constipation my whole life. But so had my mother and my grandmother. So I was just conditioned to think that's just how we're made. That's just it. So I drank Marilac, Smooth Move tea, suffered weekly, like the distension and then down for a day, and then it's all back, and the bloating after meals, all the things. It consumed my life. And so I'm seeing all this gut health stuff. I'm like, well, let me see what that's about. And it absolutely was everything that I needed for everything I struggled with. It got my gut functioning correctly. The bloat went away. The constipation worked itself out. That is a thing of the past. My skin cleared up. I was in my 40s waiting to outgrow my teenage acne. My moves were better. My energy was incredible, like all the things. So I was hooked. And I thought, this was 2 months. This was after 2 months. And I thought, I'm never going back to how I used to feel. This is incredible. So I messaged my person and said, hey, I forgot to mention to you guys that I ordered retail because I was not going to get roped into anything scammy or stuck in an auto shipment that I couldn't get out of. So I messaged my person. I'm like, hey, so I'm really liking this stuff and feeling great, and I want to stay on it, but I need it cheaper because it was an expense for our family. I mean, we were raising teenagers. I had one going into senior year, which is expensive. And I said, how do I get this cheaper? I've seen you post something about $39.95. What does that mean? And she said, well, you just need to be an ambassador so you can get the lowest prices, like Sam's Club. That's all I needed to hear. Like, yes, the lowest prices. So I did that, and I made a post without her prompting me, because that day I slipped on those jeans that I had put in the back of the closet, that I used to fold over the top of, and a tight fitted, my favorite fit girl t-shirt. Because I thought, gosh, I just feel so much slimmer. And I put that outfit on, and there were no bulges, there was no muffin top. And I took a picture and I posted it. Not intentionally, just like, oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. I didn't know that I was part of a business. I didn't know anything about network marketing. I knew nothing about sales. Probably if I had, I never would have done it. I would have been like, oh no, that is not me. I am a major introvert. I can be outgoing and fun, but people just exhaust me. I love alone time. I love home. I love quiet. And I never in a million years would have thought, yeah, I can do this. So I always think that God kind of tricked me. Like, I'm going to get her in the back way because she's good. This is her path, but she can't know that at first, or she's going to go for it, because I wouldn't have. So that post blew up. I had actually taken the day off work, and it was a good thing because I spent the whole day responding to messages and figuring out how to sign people up. And I went silver immediately. Didn't know what that was, but I did it. I had actually pulled up my timeline for you guys because I hadn't looked at it in a little while. It's a long journey. My anniversary is this coming June. It'll be 9 years. Just crazy. But it has been a long journey full of ups and downs. So silver, super quick. Then gold, the following March. Silver was like July, end of summer of 14. Gold the following March. Senior gold in July. Ruby in September, all of the same year. Like, I mean, fast journey, which means that I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know what I was doing. I was still trying to figure out the compensation plan as a Ruby. And I tell you that because I want to emphasize that towards your vision focus this month. Okay, but I'll come back to that. I have to tell you that when I went senior gold, I had no idea it was happening or what it meant. I actually got a text message or instant message from my sponsor, 10:30 at night. I was about to fall asleep the day before the last day of the month. And it said, sister, I think you're going gold tonight. And she was all in, like she was, I don't know, she was on fire. And I was too embarrassed to admit to her that I didn't know what that meant. Had no idea what that meant. And so I just played along and said, oh my gosh. She said, you better check your points. I said, oh my gosh, okay. And I had to get out of bed and I had to go to the closet in our spare bedroom and pull out my success kit and open it for the first time. And back then it was like a cardboard box with a flip chart. Really cool. And I read it for the first time, and I had to find out where points came from, why I had them, what they meant, and what was gold. And so that night I taught myself the compensation plan. And the next day I was gold. And I thought I could not shake this feeling, there goes my earbud, like really even crying or understanding this. What happened if I did? Can y'all still hear me okay? Okay. So that's when I started getting intentional. I started attending training events, like drove a couple hours by myself to go to these little things that I remember Celeste and Sonia put on. And that's when I got like into it. And then it went really quick. Senior gold in July of that year and Ruby in September of that year. And it was about 6 months later that I went senior Ruby, and then almost another year before I went Emerald. So almost the exact amount of time from senior Ruby to Emerald as it has taken me from the day I joined until I went senior Ruby. They like mirrored one another. But that's because I wasn't prepared for much growth. And that's because I didn't have the vision when I started. I didn't understand it. No one painted me a picture. I didn't take the time to look into it and teach myself. And I say a late start. I know that my success kind of happened quickly early on, but as far as my intention and my really direct commitment and effort with it, it was a late start. And then it was, I cannot believe this, 5 years from Emerald to Sapphire. Went Sapphire this past April. And in between there was growth. There was a lot of loss. I actually lost Emerald for a short time. I lost a couple leaders on my team, just a lot of stuff, it happens. But we rebuilt, and then Sapphire this past year. So, I mean, a long, long journey. I'm still learning every single day, but I just wish I had had that vision early on, so that I could have started being better with my business sooner, teaching other people to have the vision and building the belief in them much, much earlier, because I think it would have made for faster journey, a stronger journey. But in the long run, like, I wouldn't change a thing. My every step of my business has been just a different phase, different learning curve, and I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for all of that. So no regrets, but definitely just share that to encourage you guys that if you don't quite have the vision yet, just do the things to help you get it. Understand the compensation plan, watch your diamond documentaries. And if you're bringing people in, make sure they have the vision right away. I know sometimes we hesitate, like asking people to share, or, well, I hope they see, what they can earn this month, and maybe they'll want to start talking to people. I would just encourage you not to let them wait on themselves to figure it out like I did, but to just help them see it sooner so that they can be successful faster. So I'm not a nurse anymore. A big part of my story is that I walked away from that. I'm a full-time Plexus ambassador and a stay-at-home grandma. Right after I went senior Ruby, at senior Ruby, my income was matching that of my full-time hospital income. And I didn't want to leave my job. I wasn't looking for that. But we found out that we were having our first grandchild the exact same time. I hit senior Ruby in December. In January, we found out we were going to be grandparents. And I wanted to stay home. I always thought I would be at home and help with babies. And I wanted to stay home so badly. So I just took a big leap. Didn't talk to my husband. I was pretty frustrated in my job. And I resigned. And I was the insurance carrier for our family, but I found an alternative through Plexus. Another ambassador was talking about this Christian healthcare ministries that their family does. It's like sharing, group sharing. And I went and thought, well, that can work for us. We're pretty healthy. We're just going to take that chance. And I quit my job, and he came home and said, how was your day? And I said, it was awful. And I quit. And I'm doing Plexus full time, and I'm staying home with grandbabies. He just stared at me, and I said, don't freak out. As a nurse, I can always find another job if I need one. So we're going to see what happens. And that grandbaby is 6.5 years old, and I've not had to get another job. And there are now 3 more grandbabies, and I have a couple of them at home off and on now too. So it's busy and fun, and I never would have be where I am now if I hadn't, found Plexus. It's been an incredible blessing in our lives.
Brandie, I have a question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I think kind of where a lot of us are is that, 2020 came, we had some new people come in, and they flew like really fast. And then we're having to learn how to do this business when we're not in like crazy momentum. And so I would love for you to share just a little bit about like your mindset around those 5 years where you were like trying to push, like, how did you like get through those 5 years of stagnancy and through those mindset things of you're not making any progress?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was pretty steady. For the first year, I was happy to be maintaining my rank because I lost a jewel on my team. I lost my right-hand person. She had to step away from her business, and she was an emerald as well. That was hard, but we maintained for a year, and that picking up her team and kind of just carrying the weight for both of us sustained me and motivated me enough. And the fact we were maintaining our rank was incredible. But then came the fall. So I just think it was the rebuilding. It kept me so motivated. I missed Hawaii one time when we fell back, and that killed me. And I am not an incentives person. When I started Plexus, I couldn't fly very well. I've overcome that. But I used to tell my sponsor, like, I don't care about Hawaii. I don't travel. I never left home. Like that was not me. And now I go to all the things and I love travel. But when I missed that trip after going on the trip, it was crushing. So I think it was just experiencing that loss, and it motivated me to rebuild it. And mostly it's just my team. I have a team of people that bless their hearts. And maybe some of you guys are like that too. I have people that have been senior gold for years, and they keep on keeping on. And that just motivates me to keep on keeping on. Whether we're maintaining Sapphire or we've slidden back a little bit, it's just that constant want and drive and desire to succeed, because in my success, my team succeeds. And that's all I want, is like jewels on the beach with me in Hawaii.
We've got a couple of questions in the comments. One, Lacey asked, how do you, when you were talking about sharing your vision with your team, your new people, she said, how do you show them the vision? Like, what are your steps? Like, what are you doing for your team as you bring people in?
Well, mostly I just have the conversation. I don't have any magic tools or words for you, but I have the conversation. No one had the conversation with me. It was just, yeah, just sign up. And then I started seeing things in groups and pages. And for a little while, I feel like, I don't think this is just our team. I think it's a common thing. Like back in the day, we used to dump people in these groups and then post about, you can earn this much money if you had 3 people, or you can earn this, you can earn these boosts. And you kind of sit there and think, oh, I hope they see that and they want to do it and they want to talk to me about it. And I learned a long time ago that does not work. People don't believe that will happen for them. They're not going to reach out to you when they don't have belief in themselves. So what I try to do with every person is just have the conversation after they've joined. It depends on how they came in with me. Now in my business, like since I really was Emerald, I have that confidence to say, look, you can make an income at this. This is like a major financial opportunity. Is that something that you might be looking for? But even if they come to me with health, I always let them know, okay, now that we've got you going, I have to make sure you know what is available to you. I always tell them that. And I'm a big Genevieve follower. I don't know if this team is, or, Genevieve teaches us to have those conversations from the beginning. Every time you speak to them, when you're ready to get your products paid for, let me know. When you're ready, I'd love to help you get those products paid for. And you drop that constantly. Most people are not going to say, okay, yeah, tell me how. Or they say that and they make one post and then they ghost you. That's a common problem. But then when they turn off their order, because it's going to happen, you can go and say, girl, why did you turn off your order? When she says, you know what, I just can't afford it. Why didn't you talk to me? Remember how I told you we can get these products paid for? Are you ready for me to help you do that? If you're planting that seed, then when the time comes that they have to maybe step away, or life does get in the way, or finances, then that might be when they're ready. So I just think it's just letting them know what is available. I had no idea what was available to me when I signed up. No idea. Back then, we got paper checks, and my husband would bring checks in and say, "Why is Plexus sending you money?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess somebody ordered something," which I hate that. I hate that because just think if I had known, like, oh, well, that's because Susie ordered a welcome pack and I got a bonus. I mean, gosh, I wish I had been that knowledgeable, but I wasn't. And it's okay. You don't have to be. You just figure it out as you go, but it might take you 9 years, like me. So I don't recommend that.
I love that too, because I think so often we need to share all of the things. And so it doesn't have to be that way. We can like share bits and pieces of like, it is simple that you just share and you send them your link or you get them on the phone and they order and then you make money. And so I think a lot of times we get paralyzed by like, I don't understand this. And so in the beginning, just like, yes, sharing them and like giving them resources to know, but like also that you don't have to, that you like, you don't have to complicate it.
Right.
Abby asks, she said, what did your season of rebuilding look like?
Mm. Well, it was almost a whole new team. I had heard people say, I don't know what ranks anybody is, but like at Emerald, when I was really struggling, when we had fallen back and I was trying to rebuild, I was told the team that got you to Emerald isn't going to be the team that gets you to Sapphire. And I thought, this is my team. What are you talking about? And you do lose people along the way. It's, this isn't for everybody forever. This is a season for some people. And I had to accept that, and I had to look at who needed me and who wanted me instead of trying to, keep everybody together and chase the ones like, hey, you're not showing up for this. We miss you in the meetings, and trying to drag them back in. I had to realize just to love on the people that were there, that wanted to be there. And I really poured into those people. And then we've kind of just brought in new leaders, and we're still in I think, kind of a rebuilding thing as far as leadership on our team. But that Jewel that left is back. She has come back and rallied, and she's a pretty secure Emerald again. And she has an Emerald under her. So that growth, has helped tremendously, just having that presence back.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have a question? Anybody want to unmute and ask or put it in the chat? We'll give you like 3 seconds. Okay. Well, Brandie, this was so good. I think this was really encouraging to a lot of our people who have been sitting at the same rank for a couple of years, and just knowing that like you persevered in that season, right? And Emily Burgess has a question. Do you want to unmute him? Okay.
If you can hear me, let me
Yes,
know
I
if
can
you
hear
can.
you.
Okay. So Brandie, with your history in medicine and being a medical professional, what are some of your favorite resources when people come to you wanting to know about the products? I know a lot of people like the info sheets. Do you utilize those? Do you have videos to use, or is it you just kind of regurgitating information that you've learned along the way?
Definitely information along the way. I'm not a green researchy person, but I value very much the quality of our products. And I speak to that mostly. I rely on what Plexus has for us. Years ago, I was trying to recreate everything and realized, why am I doing this? They give us so many great tools. I love the information sheets. If I get someone real researchy and green, then I just do a deep dive and help them, find out what they need to know. It doesn't happen for me very often. I think we attract like-minded people, so I don't come across that very often. But one of my favorite things to do is tune into the huddle every month, because I love the call, it's great, but the Dr. Hartman piece, I keep the notes from every call from Dr. Hartman, and you guys would be amazed. And I shouldn't act like I'm the only person that ever thought of this, but you would be amazed at how many compliant posts you can create out of Dr. Hartman's piece on that call. So I use that. I write down, I never miss that. I have keep the notes. And sometimes if I'm like needing to create content, pull his notes out and I write up a post from his verbiage, and I rely on, what he says about the products. And I let people know, like, no, we have physicians and scientists that create these products. And I just really rely on Plexus's credibility and the quality of everything that they give us. And I try not to do a whole lot of extra work, because for you guys that haven't been around for 9 years, we have it so good as far as calls and tools and all the things. We didn't have all that stuff back then. So use it.
I didn't even know that. So when are those calls? Do you know off the top of your head, the community huddles?
First Tuesday of every month.
Okay. So
I
tomorrow.
think. Yeah, but I don't, well, tomorrow in place of that is the big, small wins, small steps call.
Gotcha. And is this all
But
on the
typically-
Plexus Ambassador community page? Is that where you can
Yes.
find that? Okay.
Mhm. And if you go to your dashboard and go down, there's a red box in the middle of the page. It has the corporate calendar. Those calls are on there too. That's a really easy way to
Okay.
check them.
Perfect.
But yeah, community huddle. He's on there every time, and he used to talk about the product of the month. So now I don't really know how they're handling that with product of the season. Last month he talked about reset, I think. But it's just really good. And it's, even though he's Dr. Hartman, it's layman terms and it makes sense, and it's just amazing.
Thank you. That is such a good tip.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are going to be using that too. So Kanya's over here saying her mind is blown. So thank you for hopping on. We don't have anything else planned. Is that right, Em? You don't have anything else for the call?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say after we recognize Brandie for her amazing job. Well, why don't you recognize Brandie, then I'll say one thing.
Okay. Brandie, thank you so much for taking the time to
Sure.
sorry, I'm trying to put you in. Well, I'm on speaker view, so I was still looking at him, so I was trying to find you. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and just share your journey. I think that a lot of people are going to feel encouraged by that. Kim Million says community huddle is on 1/9, so the 9th. So you feel free to hop off. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and then you can share whatever you were going to share. So thank you, Brandie.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Good night.
Thank you, Brandie. So beautiful. Thank you. 2 seconds. Just wanted to make sure everybody is aware and saw